Well, hey guys, welcome back. Uh, one of my turning on one of my favorite times of the week here is the power rankings. My fourth week of doing these power rankings, and had some interesting movements. Some teams moved up, some teams moved down, some teams stayed the same. Had some teams that moved up big time, some teams that dropped big time. It's very very interesting, depending on how the week went. So we start out now. Let me know if this surprises anybody. Number 32. Again, just hold your surprise here that number 32 is, of course, San Jose. Because, oh my God, I thought it was bad when they got beat by Vancouver 10-1, but then they come into tonight and they get another 10 spot put up on them by Pittsburgh this time. I did a video earlier today talking about San Jose and could they be an all-time bad team? Man, with the results of the last couple of days, they may go down as the potential worst team in NHL history. And that's saying something, considering their second season they lost 71 games? Yeah. Their second season they went 11, 71, and 2. This team might be worse than that. And that's saying something. I don't know where they go. I don't know where they go from here. I don't know. I mean, at this point, what team wants to be the team that loses to them first? I don't know, man. But San Jose, they got. I mean, literally the only good thing about that team right now is their uniforms. Their uniforms are absolutely gorgeous. Other than that, this team is just, boy, how bad can it get? I don't know. We shall definitely see. But number 31, staying in the exact same spot. Okay, number 31, staying in the exact same spot as last week, and there's another team that just so much more was expected, but they're just, again, this is wow. I mean, what more can you say? Calgary. The Calgary Flames are just, I don't know, they're similar to San Jose. They're so bad. They're just so bad right now. Even though they got a win tonight, it just, oh man. I mean, they went 1-2 this week, and just, I don't know. I don't know what more they can, what can be done? I mean, you have a new team, or you have a new coach, a new general manager. You're thinking, okay, we got rid of the stuff that we thought was making us bad. And it's still pretty bad. They're not a good team right now, and they've got to get something turned around, because I don't know, there was a lot more expected of them. Number 30, though, another team staying in the exact same spot, another team that was definitely more expected of them. And again, they lost again tonight. Edmonton. I literally right now am at a loss about what to do about the Edmonton Oilers. I don't know. I do not know what's going on. They went 1-2 this week, and it's just they're not getting better. I mean, if anything, they're getting worse. I mean, they're 2-7-1 on the season right now. I don't know. I don't know what makes what it's going to take to get this team to get something turned around. But I mean, we're at the point of the season now where, I mean, you literally almost have to say, is this a team that could make the playoffs? Because they've dug themselves such a hole. I don't know if they can get their way out of it. I really don't. 10 games. I mean, a lot of people would say, well, there's a lot of games left. There's still 72 games left. Yeah, but you're 2-7-1. You've really put yourself behind the 8 ball, and there's a ton of teams you're gonna have to try to jump over to make the playoffs. And I don't know if the Oilers can do it right now. They have a lot of things wrong, and it just, I don't know. They got to figure something out though, because this team's got too much talent to be where they are. Number 29. These guys dropped 3 spots this week. They went 1-2 on the week, 1-2-0, 1-2-0 on the week. Columbus. The Columbus Blue Jackets are, again, a team that kind of started out, I mean, they kind of started out, they weren't bad, but they're another team that's really kind of nosedived lately. And they've just, I mean, they've only lost one in a row, but 4-5-2 on the season. It's not great. It's not great. They went 1-2 this week, and they just, there's some good parts to the Blue Jackets, and there's some bad parts. And unfortunately, right now, a lot of the bad parts are coming through. But I think Columbus can get out of this. I mean, they're only 4-5-2. So I mean, they're not that far out of it, but it's not exactly where they want to be. Number 28. Now these guys moved up 1 spot, and they only went 1-1 on the week, but because Columbus didn't do the greatest, that's what kind of bumped these guys up, bumped them up 1 spot. Chicago. Now the Blackhawks, of course, Connor Bedard, Taylor Hall is back skating, fortunately. So hopefully he can get back onto the onto the team, and start get playing again, and hopefully Chicago can start putting together some wins. But as of right now, they're number 28, and they're just, again, they didn't really move up because of anything they really did. It's because, some teams that were in front of them didn't do great, and they fell back. So yeah, Chicago is number 28. Number 27. Now this is a team that's dropped. They dropped 6 spots this week. They went 1-2 on the week, 1-2-0 on the week. Nashville. Now the Predators. Again, a team that there's. Nashville is. Nashville's weird. Nashville is a really weird team. Even though they did get a win today. A pretty good win. but you beat a team that is currently 30th in the power rankings. So, I mean, how much, credit can you really give it? The fact that they beat the Edmonton Oilers, and the Oilers are right here. How much real credit can you give them? And that was their only win this week, was that one. So, not exactly real good. I mean, a win's a win, but if you're wanting to talk quality wins, beating Edmonton right now is not exactly a quality win. So, yeah, Nashville, without not really having a great week, they fall back 6 spots to number 27. Number 26, another team that is really, really fallen off. And a team I watch because they're the hometown, Minnesota. Oh boy, the Minnesota Wild. Again, another team, they went 1-2 on the week, and again, tonight was a decent win, considering they were behind most of the game to the New York Rangers. They came from behind, and they pulled out a win, but it was in a shootout. So, again, I can't really give Minnesota a whole ton of credit there. I mean, yeah, okay, you beat the Rangers, but you beat them in a shootout. And you were behind the whole time, most of the time. So, I mean, yeah, I like the fight back, but again, it was a shootout win. I can't really give them a whole lot of credit for that win. So, but yeah, Minnesota's they're a team that's, with the cap situation and everything, it will not surprise me if they stay down in this row for a while yet. Number 25. Now this is a team, they stay in the same place, even though they had a really nice win today. But again, they put up a 10 spot on a team that you should be putting a 10 spot up on, at least as of right now, and that's Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh stays at 25, and they're coming off a 10-2 win over the San Jose Sharks. Again, good win, good strong win, but look who you're playing. So I couldn't really move them up. I couldn't really move them down. So they just kind of stay the same. Number 24. Now these guys have moved up 4 spots, and they had a good week. They had a pretty good week, and it seems like they're starting to get it together. Seattle, the Kraken. They are a team that does look like they're starting to put it together. They were off to a slow start, but now it seems like they're getting some stuff together, and it's good to see. It's good to see the Kraken finally kind of coming around and become the team that we were thinking they were going to be. Because Grubauer's looking better. And again, they do seem like they're starting to get a little bit better. Even though, they're 12 games in. They're 4-6-2. But, and of course, and they did lose tonight. But again, they've had a pretty good week. They went 2-1 on the week, so that moves them up. And it moved them up 4 spots. Number 23, dropping 6 spots. These guys did not do well at all this week. They went, what was their record? They dropped hardcore. They dropped 6 spots because they went 1-3 this week. Philadelphia. Woofda. Philadelphia. What in the world's happened there? Again, a team that started out good, and now all of a sudden they've kind of fallen back to everything. I mean, they're 5-6-1 on the year, and it just, they're not doing that great right now. So, I mean, dropping them 6 spots just seemed to kind of make sense when you go 1-3 on the week. I mean, you can't, you end up having to drop. So, Phillies dropped to number 23. Number 22. Now, this is probably one of the bigger drops. Yeah, this was the biggest drop of the week. They dropped 12 places. They didn't win a game this week. They went 0-2 on the week. Ottawa. Now, the Senators. Again, this is another team that they were off to a good start. It was looking somewhat decent. But now they've lost 2 in a row. They lost both games this week, and they're 4-6-0. Again, they were kind of expected to be a little bit better. I expected them to be a little bit better. And dropping 12 spots after not winning a game all week. And again, a lot of people would say, God, you dropped them, that much. A lot of the teams behind them, they did better and were able to move up. And it knocked Ottawa way down. So Ottawa right now is number 22. Number 21. Moving up 2 spots. They moved up 2 spots. They won 2 of 3 this week. That's Washington. So the Capitals, even without Ovi scoring, they did pretty well this week. They're not, and again, they're not exactly a team that's running away with everything, but they're hanging in. Washington, they're 5-4-1 in 10 games, and so it's kind of and they're holding their own without Ovechkin scoring. Ovi hasn't, the offense hasn't really been with Ovi yet this year. And Washington's still hanging in, 5-4-1. They won 2 of 3 this week, and I thought that was definitely worth moving up a couple spots. Number 20, also moving up 2 spots. This is another team. They only went 1-1-1 on the week, but again, some of the teams that were ahead of them had bad weeks and fell back. Winnipeg. So the Winnipeg Jets are number 20. And yeah. It moves. They moved up 2 spots, but again, nothing real, it wasn't really anything special that they did. It's just, the other, a lot of the teams that were ahead of them, they had bad weeks and dropped. So, even though Winnipeg, they won 1 in regulation, lost 1 in regulation, lost a overtime, I believe. But so they went 1-1-1, and they moved up a couple spots, moved up to number 20, and we'll see what they can keep doing, if they can keep moving up or not. Now another big mover. These guys moved up 8 spots. And they deserve to move up those 8 spots, honestly. They went 3-1 on the week. That's Buffalo. So the Buffalo Sabres having a good week, winning 3 of 4 this week. And they're 500 right now. They're a 500 team. They are 6-6, 6-0. And hopefully we're gonna see the Sabres start slowly moving up, because this is a team that I really want to see them. I want to see them get to the playoffs. The Sabres, they've missed the playoffs for so many years. It'd be great to see them get back in. So hopefully they can keep this little run going, and hopefully maybe next week, maybe they end up here. I think that'd be pretty cool if they could do that. Number 18. They moved up one spot. And again, they had a decent week. They won 2 of 3. St. Louis. So the St. Louis Blues. Again, they had a decent week. They went 2-1. They're 5-4-1 on the year. And it's one of those things where you just, what kind of team are you getting? One game they look real good. Next game, not so much. So we're not totally sure what's going on with St. Louis, but I mean they're over 500 right now, and moving up one spot, not horrible. So let's hope maybe that they can keep that rise going. So, but yeah, St. Louis is number 18. Number 17. Now this is another team that dropped hardcore. They did not have a good week. They did not win a game all week. They went 0-2-1. Montreal. So the Canadiens, not having a good week at all, going 0-2-1. Having a bad week like that, it drops them 8 spots. And again, this is another team. They're not half bad on the season right now. I mean, they're 5-4-2, but again, it's the whole, what have you done? What have you done for me lately? And as of lately, they haven't done much. They didn't win a game at all this week. So, I think that definitely warranted a drop, and it was a drop of 8 spots. Now, you want to talk about a team that dropped? Oh boy. You want to talk about a team that dropped? This team dropped 11 places. They dropped 11 spots. They did not win a game at all this week. They went 0-2-1. Toronto. Now, the Leafs are, I mean, you go and you listen to Steve Dangle's podcast, or you listen to his LFRs. Oh, I mean, this team, this Leafs team right now is, oof. I don't know what you're going to get out of this team. They lost 6-4 tonight to the Buffalo Sabres. And again, they went 0-2-1. And again, this is a team, they're 5-4-2 on the year. Respectable, but again, you've got some teams that played really, really well. And dropping them 11 spots, that's, was definitely not expected. But hopefully maybe next week they can have a little better week and maybe move back up the board, and move up the board the right way. But yeah, they dropped 11 spots. Number 15. Now this is a team that kind of that's surprising me. They moved up 9 spots, and they went undefeated this week. They only played 2 games, but they went 2-0. Anaheim. The Anaheim Ducks. They were, what were they? Let's see. If I look back at these from the last couple of weeks, Anaheim was, just 2 weeks ago, literally just 2 weeks ago, they were 30th. And in 2 weeks, they've moved from 30th to 15th. pretty good rise. Going 2-0 on the week, 2-0 on the week. And I don't think they're as bad as everybody thought. They're definitely showing that they're not as bad as everybody thought they were going to be. So it's good to see Anaheim moving up the board like that, and hopefully maybe they can continue that climb. Number 14. Now this is another team. They dropped the good ways. They dropped 8 spots. They went. Now they didn't lose a game of regulation, but they lost. They lost 2 they had 2 overtime shootout losses. So they were 1-0-2 on the week to the New York Islanders. Now again, the Islanders, I mean, they didn't lose in regulation. But again, they had teams that were behind them that moved up, and it just knocked them back. So, it dropped them to 14th, and it was a drop of 8 spots. So, we'll see what the Islanders can do after that. Can they hopefully maybe improve next week and move up the board the right way? We'll have to wait and see. Number 13. Now this is a team they moved up 2 spots. They went 1-1-1 on the week. And again, it's because some teams had bad weeks, some teams had a little better weeks. They went 1-1-1, moving up, again, like I said, 2 spots, Florida, the Panthers. So moving up a couple spots, moving up to 13. Definitely not a bad spot to be in. And again, the Panthers are, they're 5-4-1. But again, they had kind of a mediocre week. I mean, they went 1-1-1. So, and again, they move up because some of the teams that were ahead of them just had bad weeks, and it knocked them down. So, when they drop it unintentionally moves them up. So it moved them up 2 spots. So Florida is at number 13. Number 12, moving up 4 spots. They also went 1-1-1 on the week. Tampa. The Tampa Bay Lightning. Again, they're not, and that's not it's still a spot that we're not really accustomed to seeing the Lightning in. Because, we're so used to seeing them up here in the top row. But again, they've moved up 4 spots. And, we'll see what they can we'll see what they can do. Oh, excuse me. Sneezing fit. Gotta love when you go through those, right? So Tampa moving up 4 spots. We'll see what they can do here with within this next week. And 5-3-3 to start the year. Still not horrible, considering you're without Andrei Vasilevsky till probably damn near Christmas. So we'll see what Tampa can do. But moved up 12 spots. They're number 12. Number 11. Another big mover. Another big mover in the right way. They went 2-1-1 this week. The Coyotes. The Arizona Coyotes. Now, this is a team that is surprising some people. They are surprising me, that's for sure. And it's good to see. The Coyotes, of course, they're a team that is a little surprising. They're 5-5-1 on the season, even though they lost tonight. I mean, having a pretty decent week. They moved up 7 spots. And they went 2-1-1. So it's not awful. So hopefully we'll keep seeing the Coyotes continue to rise. Number 10, moving up 2 spots. They went 2-1, 2-1-0 on the week. New Jersey. So the Devils are slowly moving up the board. And again, the Devils are they're one of those teams that really, I mean, right now we're not quite sure what you're getting out of them. Even though they're 6-3-1, they're still just one of those teams. It's like, and they won two games this week. But again, they were both against Minnesota. So, if they would have beaten maybe a little more of a quality opponent, they might have moved up a little more. But, beating Minnesota twice, and Minnesota's down here, you're just kind of like, So, New Jersey right now, number 10. All right, number 9. There's another team that they moved up a few spots. They had a good week. They went 2-1 this week. They had a pretty good win in overtime tonight over the New York Islanders, Carolina. So the Hurricanes slowly but surely are kind of coming along, and and again, Carolina is we expected them to be a little bit better than they've been, but they're hanging in. They're 7-5, and again, they're just they're hanging around, and being 7-5 is not it's not horrible. So it's kind of a slow climb up the board, but they're slowly coming along. Number 8. This team moved up 3 spots from last week, and they had a pretty decent week too. They went 2-1-0 this week. Detroit. So the Detroit Red Wings they're back in the top row. And I think it's I think they kind of deserve to be where they're at. And it moved them up 3 spots. And again, they went 2-1, so they're not horrible, and they're 7-4-1. Still a pretty decent start to the season. 12 games in, they've won 7 of them. Not bad for the Yzer plan, so to speak. So hopefully maybe Detroit can find a way to stay in that top row. Number 7. Now these guys did not have a real good week. They dropped 4 spots, and honestly, I thought about even dropping them a little more. But I thought, where some of these other teams were, I was like, I couldn't quite justify dropping them that much more. But yeah, they only went 1-2 this week, and tonight's loss that they suffered, yeah, they showed they might not be. They might not be as good as a lot of people think, but Colorado, they lost. I believe it was 7-0 to Vegas tonight. Not nothing really to write home about. Considering a lot of people were thinking that this was going to be a game, of 2 of the top teams in the league, and honestly, it was a complete mismatch. Colorado got just destroyed by Vegas 7-0. So, Colorado, again, they're a team that, it could have been very easy to have dropped them a little more, but from where they were, I thought, they're still a good enough team to be in that top row. I didn't think that they were, as bad enough to drop them out of the top row down into here. Now, of course, if they would have not won a game all week, then they might have been down here. But as of right now, they dropped 4 spots. They're still in the top row. They're still number 7. Number 6, moving up 1 spot. And they had a really good week. They went 3-1 on the week. As I use the Mooterus, the Dallas Stars. Now, the Dallas Stars, a lot of people are expecting some pretty good things from these guys. And again, they've had a really good, they've had a really good run. The only loss that they suffered this week was the game tonight. And needless to say, the team that they lost to tonight is still not on the board. And to say that I'm a little bit surprised by the team that Dallas lost to that is still not on the board, very, very pleasantly surprised. But Dallas, they still went 3-1 on the week. And, it moved them up 1 spot. And, making, having them in the top 10, they definitely are a deserved top 10. Number 5, another team that had a really good week. They went 3-0 on the week, 3-0-0 on the week. They moved up 8 spots thanks to that good week. The LA Kings. The LA Kings, the California teams, with the exception of one, with the exception of one team, the California teams did pretty well this week. Again, with the exception of one particular team. LA moving up 8 spots. That's huge. That is huge. And the Kings, I think they play tonight? Yes, they did. They played tonight, and they shut out Philadelphia. Pretty good win. Philadelphia, unfortunately Philadelphia's down here, but they beat them 5-0. And, you got to put a little bit of stock into that win. And, going undefeated for the week, they played 3 games, they won all 3. I definitely think they deserve to move up. And, moving them up into 5th, I think is a pretty good spot for them. We'll see if they can build on that. Number 4, moving up 4 spots. And to say these guys are a surprise is currently right now an understatement. But it's a really good surprise, and it's really cool to see that even at this point of the year, they're in this spot. They beat Dallas 2-0 tonight. And again, this is a team, they went undefeated this week. They went 3-0. So I think they deserve to be in this spot. To be in this spot, though, right now at this point of the year is really, really cool. The Vancouver Canucks. I think it is really, really cool to see where they're at right now. To see that they're up here, that they're this high, is incredible. I think it is absolutely fantastic, and it's one of the reasons why I wore the Canucks for the video, because it is so cool to see them at this point of the year still hanging in. They're still, they are, to me they are a top 5 team in the league right now. And the record is incredible. They are 8-2-1. That's incredible. That's an unbelievable record for the Vancouver Canucks right now. And I hope it continues. I really do. I really, really hope this continues because it's one of those surprising teams that is in the top row, and I think it's awesome. So good on Vancouver. Number 3. These guys went 2-0-1 on the year. They moved up one spot. The New York Rangers. Now the Rangers, they kind of had a little bit of a tough loss tonight, even though it was a shootout loss against Minnesota. A game that honestly the Rangers should have won. They honestly should have won. And I think if the Rangers would have won, they might have even moved up at least one other spot. But, they ended up losing in a shootout to the Minnesota Wild. And so, they still move up a spot. They move up to number 3. And, that's a, they're also 8-2-1. And they're looking really good. Number 2, staying in the same spot, even though they suffered their first regulation loss tonight, Boston. I still think Boston is, they're still an incredible team. They did lose their first game in regulation tonight. They're 9-1-1. And, even losing in regulation, I mean, it was to Detroit. They still put up 4 goals. But, this is why I say if the New York Rangers would have found a way to beat the Minnesota Wild, you might have seen these two teams flip-flop. You might have seen the Rangers and Bruins flip-flop. The Rangers might have been number 2. And where some people would have gone and said, how could you put, how could you penalize Boston for losing their first game of regulation? Well, if the Rangers would have won, the Rangers would have went undefeated for the week. They were on a 6-game winning streak coming into the game today. So, I think if the Rangers would have beaten the Minnesota Wild, the Rangers very, very well could have been number 2. But as of right now, it's still Boston by just a little bit. And again, number 1, color me surprised. Save your shock, of course. Everybody's going to be shocked. Number 1, the reigning, defending Stanley Cup champion Vegas Golden Knights. They just keep on rolling. They are 11-0-1 to start the year. The defending champions, this team right now, they've won 4 straight. They have a .958 points percentage right now. .958! Are you kidding me? This Vegas team, you want to talk about a wagon? A machine? Whatever metaphor you want to throw out there. The Vegas Golden Knights, they're wanting to defend their crown. They want to make sure that the cup stays in Vegas, and they're on a tear right now. And I don't know who's going to beat them in regulation, but man, even when you go and you look at some of the stats here, they have a plus 26 goal differential. They've scored 50 goals and given up 24. Woofda. In the immortal words of Steve Dangle, oof, maron. Whoo, the Vegas Golden Knights, man. Wow. 11-0-1. There's no other team that can make that claim to be number 1. It's Vegas's right now to lose. And they're not losing right now. So let me know what you guys think. Let me know, let me know wherever your team's at. Do you like where your team's at? Do you not like where your team's at? I'd love to know what you guys think. Do you think Vegas still deserves to be number one? Do you think the Rangers and Bruins maybe even still, with the Rangers losing in a shootout, should they have maybe flip-flopped? Let me know what you guys think. If you like the video, it'd be awesome and would be greatly appreciated. You hit that like button. If you really enjoyed the video, again, it would be greatly appreciated if you would hit that subscribe button. And if you want to know anytime my one of my videos goes live, go ahead and hit that little bell, and it will notify you anytime one of my videos goes live. And yeah, and I know there's a bunch of people that will, they'll probably click on the video and they'll fast forward all the way to the end. Unfortunately, I can't help that. But if people do that, and then they realize when they do that where if their team is in a certain spot and they're like, well, why is my team down there? Maybe you should watch the whole video and listen to why I have that team where they are. So, again, let me know what you guys think. Hit the like button if you enjoyed the video. Hit that subscribe button if you really enjoyed it. Again, it would all be greatly appreciated. And yeah, so this was week 4, and yeah, definitely a lot of I'm definitely enjoying doing these, and hopefully you guys are enjoying watching them. So yeah, again, let me know what you guys think. Let me know whether you like where your team's at or not, and yeah, so let me know what you guys think. Hit like and subscribe. I will see you guys later.